Essential Pepin is made possible by
KitchenAid, for the way it's made. Proudly celebrating 10 years of Cook for the Cure to support the fight against breast cancer.
and by C. Donatello Winery, producing Pinot Noir and Chardonnay from Sonoma's Russian River Valley. C. Donatello Winery is a proud supporter of Jacques Pepin. And by
OXO Good Grips. OXO, tools you hold on to.
Lobster and artichokes are two of my favorite foods. And together like this with the chives and butter sauce, they make a very, very elegant first course. Here is how I did it. Now start by removing the stem and cut away the outside leaves. Then you have to cut all around so that you have like a cone. Then now cut off the top, and then using a small sharp knife, shape the artichokes by cutting around the base and taking off the excess leaf. You have to change the angle to make it smaller, and you continue turning the artichoke that is in your hand as well as cutting around to remove all of the green and all of the tough leaf. Now you can peel the artichoke stem because they can be cooked as well and eaten. Now that we have artichoke's bottom, rub all of the cut surface of the artichoke with lemon juice to prevent them from discoloring, and put them in a pan with a bit of hot water, a splash of lemon juice, about a tablespoon of olive oil, and a pinch of salt. Cover and cook until they are tender. Next, remove the artichokes from the pot. When they are cool enough to handle, scoop out the choke with your finger or spoon. Now you want to place the artichoke's bottom back into the hot liquid. When the lobster is cool enough to handle, break up the tail and the two big claws. Now pull up the carcass from the claw from the center body. Save any roe or tamale which comes out. Make sure to remove the stomachs because it has gravel in it. Now crack the tail, pull off the shell and remove the meat. Now crack the claw to release the claw meat. Cut the tail in half lengthwise and remove any remaining intestine, if there is any. Now bring a cup of the lobster liquid to a boil. Add all the juice of the lobster from it. Strain it. Then pour the strained sauce back into the pan. Add some butter, freshly ground black pepper, and cut it some fresh chives on top and bring the whole thing to a strong boil so it emulsifies. Now to serve, put some of the sauce onto a plate, place the warm artichoke heart in the center, and arrange half a lobster tail right inside, and decorate with both claws on the side, garnish with a little bit of parsley, and this is a stunning first course. And this is it. This is so much easier to eat than serving the whole lobster in the shell. We're going to make more fish, more shellfish today, from easy to elegant. This is Essential Pepin. With our beautiful big shrimp today, 16.20 to the pound, and I want to show you a new way of using shrimp. Shrimp is probably the most popular seafood in the United States, and today we're doing a shrimp pané on watercress, the classic Escoffier Quenelles, and the Monkfish Roulade. And we are going to do a mousse with the shrimp here. Those are peeled, and what I'm doing, I'm keeping just the tail of it here. Again, so I have all the tail of those shrimp and a couple of extra ones here. And with this, I'm going to do a mousse. And I'm going to cover those shrimp with that mousse. And in this, now I'm going to put those shrimp, 1 clove of garlic, 1 egg, and a little bit of parsley, salt, pepper,
And that's about all there is to it. It's a different type of mousse, more in the Oriental style. In France, we put more cream in it. Here we are. I want it creamy, but nice and smooth. And the salt at some point coagulate, you know, the fish or shellfish and tighten it. Okay, nice and tight. I'm going to put this, arrange it on a plastic wrap, it's easier. So we have, let's say, 4 shrimp per person, or 5 shrimp per person here. Let's say 5. So remember, those shrimp are whole, except that I have taken the tail out of it. So out of this, I want to take a bit of shrimp and make shrimp puree on top of it. Then the breadcrumb should be here to stick to. This is fresh breadcrumb, you know. Then you change hand. It's not that. It's a bit delicate, but not that delicate, because the breadcrumb will stick to it and make, you know, a nice patty like this. Again, more breadcrumb on top of it. You can see here, it all pretty good. So here it is, first one. Dash of olive oil here. I want a little piece of butter. This is hot enough now. You put it on this, it helps also when you grab it. You can grab things like that too. And now that it's cooked, of course, it hardened. Okay. This will cook a couple of minutes on each side. You want the shrimp, of course, the heat to go through the mousse and cook the shrimp. You don't want them overcooked, of course, but they should be cooked just nice and pink inside. I can see that it's ready to be turned. And now, as you can see, it's nice and quite brown. And it's getting pretty, you know, now pretty hard with the mousse, so you don't have to be that careful with it. Now, this will cook a couple of minutes again on this side, or actually you could finish it in a warm oven. I have a vinaigre de sherry here, vinagre de Jerez, which is sherry vinegar, the real one from Spain, just a little bit, and a walnut oil. Walnut oil has a very, very definite taste, you know, of roasted walnut. Okay, here we are. A nice place here. Watercress is absolutely beautiful. Okay, and let's see those now. You can see that it's brown on one side, brown beautifully on the other side. You can serve it this way, or maybe I'll cut it in half like that to show you the inside. And I have a beautiful shrimp pané on watercress. And now I'm making a very old classic French recipe, the quenelle escoffier, the classic quenelle done with a mousse. And often in Paris, we used to do that with pike sometime, or sometimes trout, or sometimes seawater fish. And I have here 3 different types of fish. I have a petrole sole, I have a piece of fresh cod, and I have little black sea bass here, which is really firm and all this. And the bone of those, I start with this. I have a bone here to do a stock, what we call a fumée, with the fish in order to make the sauce with it. The bone, any type of bone, shellfish as well, and all that. Saute it. Saute that with, I have onion in there, I have celery, and I have leek. You know, and usually, often the green part, the part that you really don't use that much, to start with. You want to saute that in there for a minute or so. Then a branch of fresh thyme, a couple of bay leaf, white wine in there, 2 tablespoons, maybe a bit more, close to a cup of wine, and water. A fish fumée like that, you bring it to a good boil, boil it 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, and you strain it. And then I reduce it to what I have here, which is about a cup and a half. And this is what we are going to do the sauce with. Now, I'm going to put mushroom to start with. So I have some mushroom here. I will put that in the food processor directly to coarsely chop it. and that will go into my fumé de poisson. You know, the fish, and that will cook a few minutes. Now, I am going to do my mousse here. This, I remember as an apprentice, taking the fish, cutting it into pieces and pounding it in a mortar and all that with an egg white. And after tablespoon by tablespoon, work the cream into it. It has changed a great deal. And now we have those wonderful machines which make you an expert in 2 minutes. We have about a pound of fish here. Here we are. And then that black fish, which is really very firm flesh. And of course, I would want to take the skin out of it. To take the skin, use your knife, you know, grab the end of the skin like that and move your knife into a kind of jigsaw fashion, like this, pulling on the skin. All right. Here, I'm going to use 1 egg, actually 1 egg white. I won't even use the yolk. So this is going to go in there. And I think I'm going to put a little bit of tarragon here. Okay. This will go on. I have about a cup of cream in there. I would look at the texture. Yeah, I can need a little more cream. And certainly when I put the salt at the end, you know, the salt will kind of tighten the albumin in the fish. Now I have white pepper here because it's a mousse and it's white. And maybe I should have white pepper, but I like the black one better. I know that Julia would not agree with me, but I'm sure she pardoned me, you know. Okay, a little more cream, and that's basically it. And the rest of my mousse right here. Okay. So then those quenelles are then poché, you know, poached. And we poach them in hot boiling water, really. I kind of wet my spoon to get a nice shape of a quenelle that we call, you know, which is that type of shape that will fall in there. All right, good. And now they have to poach about 10-12 minutes. Well, my quenelles are close to ready now. I'm finishing my sauce. I've been reducing. I'm going to put like 1/3 of a cup of cream in there. Don't really need to reduce it either because it's pretty intensive taste, but I will thicken it a little bit. And salt. I need salt in there. And freshly ground pepper. And then I will thicken it. I have arrowroot here, which is quite expensive and very delicate thickener. And I have potato starch here. I tend to go with potato starch very often first because it's very inexpensive too. And it does basically that job. You always have to dilute it with a liquid. I have it here. And I will pour out a little bit of that mixture in there. And I will look. And it will thicken right on contact. So I stop whenever I feel it thick enough. Put a little bit in there, stir it. You can see that the sauce, like this, is quite creamy now. Quite good too. All right, so now we can finish it up. I'm going to put the sauce on top of it. And that's it. Directly on a cookie sheet in the oven. And here we are, the classic quenelle Escoffier, just like we did at the Pavillon in New York. And this is the classic quenelle Escoffier. And now I'm going to do a Monkfish Roulade. Monkfish, I mean, years ago, I remember when I came to America, half a century ago. The fisherman would throw that, in the garbage. No one would keep the monkfish. It's really, really ugly, but it's really a good fish. We're going to stuff it with broccoli di rape. I'm going to put some olive oil in my skillet here, and this goes in there. I start without moisture, but believe me, within a couple of minutes, there will be plenty moisture coming out of the broccoli di rape, just like spinach. Then what I want to do is to put some mushroom in it. You can do it in the food processor also. It goes faster in the food processor. But I have half hour to kill, here, so I have to do something. Top of this. Right, already I have a beautiful color and taste. I'm going to put a couple of cloves of garlic in there. Put your knife flat on top of it. Go down and forward, to really crush your garlic. That releases the essential oil, that kind of sticky thing. And there is actually two essential oils which get together and give you the smell and the taste of what you call garlic. If you don't crush it like this, it's very different. It has another taste. In fact, if you use it whole like this, you can have a whole head of garlic, will have less taste than maybe this, when it's done this way. In there. And I'm going to put a little bit of those red pepper flake here. This is really hot. Salt. And I don't need pepper because of this. You can see right away it's starting to get wilted. Okay. That's it. This is going to take 5-6 minutes to cook. And then after you have to let it cool, of course, before you want to use it, because we're going to use it in the middle of that large piece of fish, which is the monkfish here. For that type fish here, I would say the head would come about up to here. It would be about that big. So it's pretty scary when you see it in the water. But the flesh is very firm, white, and absolutely delicious. So what we want to do here, remove a little bit of that extra flesh on the outside. So we want to really butterfly this to get it as large as we can get it. This way. To do a big rectangle here. On this side. That part here, which is here, you can even remove it and open it. And again, use it wherever I'm going to have to use it. Now, what you want to do, this is the inside of the fish white. This is the outside of the flesh, which is a bit darker, as you can see in color. And certainly, I want to put my stuffing here and turn it so that what you see on the outside is that part. So you can see that this basically is ready. But of course, this is still hot, it has to cool up. So I have some cold one here, about the same amount. So we put a dash of salt on top of this. Dash of pepper. And I will stuff it. So here it is. I think I need practically probably all of it. Let me see. Maybe a little piece here. And we can roll this. This one here. And when you do that type of thing, there is always that great tension. Okay, here I have that piece too. Anyway. Okay. Look how beautiful it looks on this side. All right. I'm going to attach it with twine. When you use twine in the kitchen, you use that type of twine, which is cotton. Don't use like nylon. Put it in something hot, the whole thing melt. This is butcher twine or cotton twine. So you go very taut, like this here, to attach it at the end. And then after that, after you attach it on this, you use a half inch. The half inch for the brownies, you know, or the people who have a boat. If that type of thing, again, same loop, this way, that should be fine. So here, I roll it gently here. And what I want to do is to go underneath here, just like I did on top, so it looks the same way. And bring it back here gently and start where we started. I attach it there and so forth. That's it. A dash of salt, pepper on it, putting it here. I'm going to brown it on this side. So that's going to brown 4 or 5 minutes. One side, turn it on the other side, 8–10 minutes, it'll be almost cooked, and we're going to do a sauce with it. I have already peeled some tomato. You can peel it by dropping it in boiling water. Actually now, those new vegetable peelers are just amazing. Those are a serrated edge. Take the center of it and cut them in half. That exposes the juice, and all that stuff goes in the bowl. And that goes into the freezer. And when I do a stock, I get all that stuff to put into my stock. Okay. Before I continue on this, let me turn my beautiful. That's starting browning. I'll brown it a little more, and then I will cover it. In that case here, I'm going to use, you can put it in the oven actually, be fine. But you know, you can cover it with this and then cook it gently for 10 minutes, 10–12 minutes before you finish the sauce with it. Now you want to do a salpicon, that is, you know, little dice of fresh tomato flesh like this to do a natural sauce with it. Then I want to put tarragon. Okay, so let's see. This has been cooking, you know, like gently for 12–15 minutes. Yep, that's cooked. Remember, it's only a thin layer of fish all around, so we don't really have to cook that long. What we're going to do, is to transfer it here. Increase the heat a little bit. I'm going to deglaze that with a bit of white wine. And this will cook down a little bit with my tomato for a minute or so. I need salt. Now I have to remove the string. Don't forget to remove the string here. That's it. See, I have really a nice roulade here. You can see that that flesh is really, really white. I can actually emulsify some olive oil in there. Tarragon. And that's it. And I probably would serve it, you know, just like this, in the cooking vessel here. Maybe a little bit of a sauce or juice on top of it. This is it, the Monkfish Roulade. You know, when you make a dinner party, you should plan ahead, shop early, because you can always seduce someone with a good recipe. Happy cooking!
Visit the website at kqed.org/Jacques Pepin to learn more about Jacques. You can watch the shows online, view clips of Jacques in the kitchen, print more than 50 recipes, and see photos from behind the scenes. Essential Pepin is the collection of Jacques' favorite recipes from more than 60 years in the kitchen. The book includes all the recipes in the series, along with 600 more and a searchable DVD. It's $40 plus shipping. To order, call 800-937-5387 or go to the web address below. Or you can order the complete series of all 26 shows on DVD for $39.99 plus shipping. Essential Pepin is made possible by
KitchenAid, for the way it's made. Proudly celebrating 10 years of Cook for the Cure to support the fight against breast cancer.
And by C. Donatello Winery, producing Pinot Noir and Chardonnay from Sonoma's Russian River Valley. C. Donatello Winery is a proud supporter of Jacques Pepin. And by
OXO Good Grips. OXO, tools you hold on to.
Happy cooking!